Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to go over the 1 through 7 tips for running with asthma. There's going to be a two-parter. The second part will be 8 through 13. So it'll be 13 tips for running total. My name is Justin Vandermark, and I have moderate to severe asthma. I've been maintaining it by trying to run, trying to work out and exercise. Yes, it is difficult. Yes, there are problems that can occur when running or when exercising. That's why the first thing you got to do is always take it slow, right? Don't just run. Don't just go into working out. You want to make sure when you do it, you start off walking before running. Always consult your doctor. And actually, let's just jump right into the first tip. The first tip is talk to your doctors. Talk to your healthcare providers. What they'll do is they're going to give you safety tips and precautions for running based on your asthma severity levels, right? So when I went to run, I talked to my doctor. He told me, hey, make sure you have your inhaler, make sure you use 2 puffs before you run. And he gave me some other tips that helped with my asthma back when I was severe. You know, I had to start off walking every day first, and then after walking, I was able to do a light jog and walk, jog, walk, jog, walk. And now I jog, walk maybe 2 to 3 times instead, and I can complete my run with jogging. All right, number 2 is have an asthma action plan. What that is, it's a preventative to avoid getting asthma symptoms. But if you do have asthma symptoms, also the asthma action plan will pretty much tell you or another person what to do in case you are having an asthma attack, you know, because with me, if I have an asthma attack, yeah, I make sure I take my rescue inhaler. And then if it's severe, then I'll call 911. If it's not too bad, I take my inhaler and I can mellow out and do some breathing exercises that'll also help me balance out. So that's why having an asthma action plan is very important. I will be making a video of my asthma action plan in the future so you guys can see exactly what it is that the healthcare provider, doctors, or if you want to do it yourself, you can make your own and then let the doctor know, send them an email. That's what I did, and they approved, saying that's really good, but I would add this, or no, don't do this. Instead of this, do this instead. So the third tip is going to be pay attention to your body. You should know your body by now, especially if you have asthma, right? I know my body perfectly. So when I do go run, when I do go jog, I know how I feel. So sometimes, you know, you're going to run or walk and you get super in the zone, right? Like with me, I put on my music and I'm there running, and I'm zoned out. But you want to make sure, it's very important, you know your body. You know when you feel short of breath. You know when your skin is flushed, right? You know when you're going to start wheezing, or when you're going to start coughing, or when your body's at the exhaustion. You have to know that. If you don't know that, that can lead to serious problems. So always make sure you know your body. The fourth one is one that I think most people will already do, and that's carry your rescue inhaler. I carry my rescue inhaler with me everywhere I go. I do have that running bottle, and I put this in the little pouch right there and zip it closed, as you see in my previous videos. I'll have a little card right here with that video in there. If you are like me at first and you're very forgetful, you're very bad at remembering to bring your little safety net, put a Post-it somewhere, put it on your door. Well, that's what I started. I got a little Post-it note. I said, don't forget to bring inhaler, and I slapped it right on my door. So every time I was going to walk out to leave, I was like, oh, let me grab it. Open up the drawer, take my inhaler, throw it in my pocket, throw it in my water bag, and I just take off running. So always make sure you have your rescue inhaler with you at all times. Number 5 is check the weather. You always want to make sure you know what the weather is, right? If it's too cold, you want to make sure you have a bandana over your face, because it'll keep the warm air in there, which cold air could lead to you getting bronchitis or getting pneumonia. You want to keep your chest nice and warm. My personal thing is I don't like anything covering my mouth or my nose. I feel too claustrophobic. I feel like I can't breathe enough, right? You guys probably already know that. What I do is I just put on my running shirt, I throw a hoodie on, and then I have a running jacket that's baggy, and I zip it up all the way up to my throat. So when I'm running, my whole body's warm, and it keeps me warm. Even though I'm breathing in the cold air, I don't feel it personally. But that's me. I built myself that way, because it was really hard running with something covering my mouth. Even at first when it was on my throat, it didn't feel that well. I felt kind of like I wanted to puke because I felt almost like I'm being choked. So it really based on your preference. Start off with something and just make sure you know the weather before you go out and run. So just like checking the weather, you want to check for high pollen count. You want to avoid that as much as possible because allergies and asthma go hand in hand, which I'll have a video in the future about asthma and allergies. But what you're going to do is when you're checking the weather, also go in there and see what the pollen count is. If it's too high, don't go for a run, or if you are, go to the gym, go on a treadmill indoors. Try not to run outside because that can activate some asthma symptoms like sneezing, coughing, and then that will lead to shortness of breath. So try to avoid that high pollen count. And since we're talking about the air still, we'll jump right on into number 7, which is avoid air pollution. And saying avoid air pollution, let's just jump right into what that is. And that's just, when you're running in the street, cars drive by, like if it's high traffic area and it brings up all this dirt, all the dust, all this grass or whatever's on the floor, it pushes up in the air. And when you're running by it, that will cause asthma symptoms, right? Because you're inhaling this stuff and that can activate your allergies, that can activate your asthma, and you don't like that, right? You want to be able to do a full run. So check the weather, make sure the air pollen count is not high at all, and avoid air pollution at all possible. If you're going to run, reroute your run to another way. If you check my previous running video, it says what in there not to do, and one of that is avoid air pollution, avoid high traffic areas, because that'll make your asthma just cause all these symptoms and you're just not going to feel good, and it could trigger an asthma attack, and then you got to bust out your inhaler, take out your phone, call 911, whatever your asthma action plan entitles, then you got to start doing that. So I hope you guys like these first 7 tips for running with asthma. And yes, you can run with asthma. You just got to take it slow and talk to your healthcare provider. So if you're liking this information, please smash that like and subscribe button. And I'm going to be having more videos. I will have part 2 out for you next week. All right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.